Hey, this is Rick and welcome back to SMAERD58. That's Streams 58 backwards. From time to time, after I've done a DIY do-it-yourself video, I may find things that I want to tweak, upgrade, or change around. But then rather than go ahead and change the original video, I'll make an update video and I'll either put there part 2 or type 2. So this will be basically like a update to the original video I did for the aquarium fish tank divider. I noticed some things after running this for about a week that probably wouldn't be very healthy for the fish. I mean, it would be okay. You're just going to have to clean your tank a little bit more with like a fine mesh net, and you can look at that video up here. I show you how to use that in between your water changes and it'll save you some money. But instead of doing that, I have two flower horns now. If you watch the original video, I have a male on one side of my tank on a 55-gallon tank, and I have a female on the other side. And I noticed that with the mesh material, screen material that I made out of the divider, I wasn't getting a lot of flow through there from the discharge coming off of the pump. I mean, it's still cycling okay and the filter's working fine. I'm just not getting that flow that I would like to have coming through. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here you can see our DIY divider that we made in the previous video. And you'll see that there is some debris starting to collect right there on the mesh of the screen. And the discharge is that tube right here. So that water's coming across here, and then it's supposed to flow through that mesh and then go out the return over here where our girl is. But if you look over here, I had some plants in there and stuff, and I noticed that there wasn't much flow on there. Because of the fine mesh on this screen material here, it's not going through there. So we're not getting a nice flow going through there. It's pushing the debris up there, and she needs to have oxygenated water, and the surface is starting to get like a little stagnant because it's not breaking. That's holding back all that stuff. And then I noticed like a swirl pattern here, that was hitting that, and it was swirling his food around there. And if you have flower horns, you know these guys are just like garbage trucks. I mean, they will eat and then stuff will go all over the place when they spit it out and they secrete it out their gills, or they poop it out of their waste. So I'm going to do a little something different here to that design. Okay, so if you're familiar with canister filters, that's my XP3 over there, and the hose comes out of there, goes up to the tank, and it discharges in the tank. The other hose comes in on the other side, goes through the filter, filters out, and then goes out to discharge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into that hose that goes up here to the discharge, and I'm going to branch off another hose and we're going to put it over on this side of the tank. So she's going to get flow on this side and he's going to get flow over on this side. So if you don't have extra pieces that you've collected throughout your hobby being a fish keeper, such as these, this is a discharge loop. And I'm sure if you don't have any hose, you can get some 3/4 hose from Lowe's or Home Depot or any of your other box stores that you have. Usually they carry that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to splice a T in. So I ended up going to Lowe's and I found this. It's a 3/4 barb T. See that right there? It's made by Lasco. I think there was like maybe $1. We're going to take that out of the bag and I'm going to cut that in on the discharge side. So the T will be going in line like this. So you'll have your discharge coming up through here. And then I'm going to branch off of here and I'm going to bring her water hose out to there for a discharge for her side of the tank. And his is going to come right out of the top and continue on. So that way we'll get discharge on both sides. So to make that a little bit easier, with this 3/4 hose and that barb, you're just going to slide it right on there. Now if you have problems getting it on there, you can put a little like vegetable oil on there. It's not going to hurt anything or cloud the tank or anything. Or you can heat this up in some boiling water or some hot water that you microwave, and it'll slide right over there if you can't get it on with your hands. Now I've also bought some barb 90s so I can make that loop to go back into the tank. Like I said, these may be under $1. And if you don't have that piece that I showed you with the loop, you can make your own loop. You'll put both of these together with just a piece of that clear tubing and you can drop right back down into the tank. Okay, so maybe this will clear it up a little bit better for you. So here, this is going to come off of our filter right here out of the discharge, comes to a T, and then the T will tee off into two different discharges now. You'll have this one and this one. So they'll go into both sides of the tank on the opposite side of that divider. Okay, so now both discharges are installed. You can see the one right there and the one right here. You can see they're a little more active now. That's either because I stirred up their environment or there's some nice flow coming out on each side of the tank. I think that's going to be better for the health of the fish and keep the tank a little cleaner. Now we're going on to the next part of this project that I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade that screen material that's in there, and we'll go to that next. Okay, so this is the second part of the revamp for that first DIY divider build video. We've already seen where we've actually broke off the discharge. We put it into two different parts of the aquarium, so almost like you have two aquariums in one, so that you're sustaining the proper water parameters for both fish on each side. Now, like I said, you know, my designs aren't always going to be the best. Somebody may come up with something better. I may be able to revamp some things myself, and I have no problem with doing that. And I noticed with this screen material, like I said, the mesh is so tight that it's almost like keeping a separate aquarium by itself, because it's going to hold back a lot of the fish waste and whatever else is on the other side of that tank, which is fine. This will work perfectly fine. It will pass through. You got to clean it off periodically because it's going to become clogged almost like a filter would. So this design is great, and it works good if you have materials around or if you want to keep it blacked out so the fish can't see each other. We're going to try something different now. Like I said, I'm always looking for ways of trying to save some money, especially for the hobbyists, and I try to find materials where we can save money. So we'll go ahead and we'll snip these off, and we'll come back. Okay, so we stripped all the screen material off our frame. And what I found at the craft store, what they call canvas shape. It's plastic canvas shape. It comes in a section of 22 inches by 13.2 inches. And it's fairly thick. It's nice and rigid. What we're going to use this for is now in place of that black screen material. And I think since the holes are larger, this is going to allow for more airflow. Plus, I think the fish will be able to see each other a little bit better. And then maybe they can make eye contact and start to bond a little bit better. With the black mesh on there, they know there's something there. They see a silhouette, but they can't really see it that well. So maybe this will be a little bit better. I know health-wise it probably will be. So you just want to lay it on there. So I've decided to actually cut it on the inside of the pipe. I think it makes a nice cleaner install instead of putting it right on the outside like that. And then you see the PVC on the other side with the frame. With the mesh in the middle here, it kind of aesthetically makes it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to go ahead and cut it on the inside of the PVC, and we'll go ahead and wire tie it up. So I wanted to show you how easy this is to cut. You just find the row there that you want to cut, lay your scissors right on there, and just keep right on going down the line there. Makes a nice clean cut, real easy, not hard. My hands usually hurt all the time, so this isn't too difficult. Just ride it right on down. There won't be any sharp edges. And there it is. That'll go right in the center there, and we'll wire tie that down. Now, the reason why I've gone with this material and also screen material, I've heard some people like to use the egg crate grating that you get the diffusers from the big box stores. But I've heard that over time they break down, they break, and then they get sharp edges, and they can hurt your fish when they're slamming up against them. They'll splinter and cut them. So we're trying something that's nice and smooth. It's not going to hurt our fish. Okay, so now that we're working our way around, you can see the wire ties are starting to pull the mesh nice and tight. What's nice about this mesh is with the small holes that they have in there, you don't have to drill any holes or anything in the screen material. It's already there for you, which makes it a lot easier. And you just push it right through the hole, like that, and cinch it up with the wire tie. Now, don't pull them all tight until you get your mesh in there, and then you can start adjusting it around so that it pulls it nice and tight up against the PVC, and so it makes a nice tight seal all the way around. Once you've got them in there, just start cinching them up, and when you got it to where you want it, roll that little tab up there and cut it as close as you can. Let me go ahead and do all that. Alright, so there you go. Nothing's going to get through that sucker. You'd have to have sharks in your tank, and I still don't think they would get through there. You're not going to pop them. That plastic is pretty heavy duty and those ties aren't going to snap. Leave that one loose at the top where you take the 90 apart and you submerge the whole thing in your tank. Lock it in on the sides and it's not going anywhere. If you need to see the install, look at the first video and it'll show you a little bit better. Hey, thanks again for watching. I appreciate all the feedback. And everybody give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And once again, please subscribe. That button should be down in the right-hand corner of the video. Go ahead and hit that and you'll be able to get any video I put up. You never know what it's going to be. Take care.